Tata Motors is firing on all cylinders. It has hit new peaks in all sectors. It has taken a dominant position in the EV space. And today we have a very, very special guest, the man behind this transformation, Mr. N Chandrasekaran, who is the chairman of the Tata Group and Tata Motors. Mr. Chandrasekaran, thanks so much for talking to us. It's been quite a journey, but I just want you to recap the last couple of months, which have been great, but also there are kind of a few headwinds which we are facing.
Thank you, Gormus. It's a pleasure to meet with you and my first interaction with Autocar. Thank you for speaking with me. Tata Motors has been going through a massive transformation over the last 5-6 years. And it has been a very invigorating exercise. We've been able to define a different story and a different strategy for each of the segments. Tata Motors was quite complex. Just the number of things the company was doing. Now we have clear focus on commercial vehicles, passenger cars, and JLR.
With the demerger also just happened.
And the demerger has been approved by the board and we have filed. So this should happen in the next 12 months, hopefully. Then we will have two companies, the Tata Motors Commercial Vehicles Company and the Tata Motors Passenger Car Company, which will have both
JLR and
domestic passenger cars and the JLR. The good thing that has happened in Tata Motors, if you see, there are several ways to look at it. One, in terms of the product portfolio, there has been a big change both in strategy and in refresh. You take commercial vehicles, we have distinct portfolios of heavy commercial vehicles, light commercial vehicles, small commercial vehicles, and there is a lot of change that has been brought about in each one, both in terms of product and meeting regulatory requirements and also the financial metrics. Okay, it's been a big change because some of the past metrics are not known and those are things that have happened. And we've also focused significantly on the sales and service, what we call as a non-vehicle business.
Right.
And you know what has happened in the passenger cars. We've totally created new platforms and new products and we have branched into EVs and so on. And Jaguar has been transformed into a luxury portfolio.
Right.
They can talk to anyone.
So, I think I want to start with the EV bit because quite honestly, I think you personally took a big bet on that when the EV market really wasn't there. In fact, I think Tata Motors founded the EV market, so to speak, or really, and is still market leader by some way. What was your thinking back then? I mean, to take this bet?
For me, it was very clear that there is a space because the market leader was above 50% market share. The next was below 20%. So I really felt that there is an opportunity if we can get it right. I really felt the destination place for passenger cars is electric vehicles. That I had that conviction for a variety of reasons. First is the sustainability is a big theme world over. And it is a reality that the world has to change. We cannot be emitting so much carbon.
CO2 is public enemy number one.
Number one. And that I had the conviction. Second thing for me is if we have to do anything in India, electric vehicles should get the priority because we have the maximum number of polluted cities in the world. 14 out of 20 are in India. So if we have to really solve this problem, in all our companies, we have to pivot. So I had this belief, not only in Tata, but also in Tata Power. Same time we pivoted to electric vehicles here, we also took a decision in Tata Power that we will not put capex in coal. All our capex will go in renewables.
Right.
I still have the conviction that electric vehicles is the way to go. It is the destination. And we're going to get there. And we are going to push that very hard.
But Mr. Chandrasekhar, very frankly, you might have the conviction, but the sense one gets is that the consumers their conviction after the early adopters is not as strong as it was. Market for EVs globally is, do you think we are facing a bit of a dip? These are challenges which you have to, and just to understand a lot of, let's say, political uncertainty right now. You've got geopolitical issues. Our supply chain is not in our control fully. I mean, there are challenges, and what do you think these are, and how do you think we have to deal with it?
Any transition will have a challenge, but I don't think that I fully agree with everything that you say. There are challenges. There will always be challenges in any transition. This is going to be one of the biggest transitions. So whether the electric vehicle will be the platform of the future, will be the destination thing, there is no doubt about that.
That's how long it will take.
Tesla has already proved it.
Right.
That you can produce fantastic cars and you can sell, you can make money, and you can meet the desire of the consumers. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to whether you can produce high quality cars
profitably,
whether you can produce the cars that the customers love at the right price point and profitably. See, with every model that we have been launching, our margins are getting better. Our Tata Motors electric vehicle company, which is a subsidiary, is already EBITDA break-even with on the product costs. And you will be surprised at the pricing in the cars that will come out, where we will pretty much match the put down price of the electric vehicle at the higher end of the ICE.
So you're saying parity is already here, but
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
And we will make money.
But
we will make money.
But ICE still has the fatter margin, I'm sure, and clearly there is
volumes have to come. See, I think the day the electric vehicle crosses 20% of the volume, then the volume will start playing up.
Right.
It will happen. It's a journey that it has to happen, and it will happen.
Turning to batteries, cell manufacturing, Agratas, which you all are, clearly your vision for that. Is it going to be just for, let's say, Tata Motors, products, JLR products? Is it going to be open to everyone? Because clearly there's a lot of investment and scale required for that. And given the fact that, there is a little bit of a worry on global EV volumes, how do you plan to, what is your vision for that?
See, the Agratas is an independent company. There is a specific reason why it is independent.
Okay, so you will be looking at...
So that we can serve the market.
Right, all OEMs.
All OEMs. And we already have offtake contracts with both Tata Motors and JLR, but we will do with others.
And where does Tata Autocomp fit in? Because they're also doing a pretty good job, Tata Autocomp, giving, supplying packs and batteries to a lot of other OEMs.
See, Tata Auto Components has been one of the biggest turnarounds.
Yeah.
It's a private limited company. And I can tell you, it was number 18 in the auto components company in this country. And it is number 2. And revenues, profits, it's number 2 now. And they have built a huge capability. And they've also used the opportunity of Tata Motors going into electric to pivot to electric and build a whole range of capabilities. Now they are not only serving Indian OEMs, now they are serving international OEMs, and they have put up new centers outside India, multiple centers. So Tata Auto Components is again not a captive. So that will serve the market.
Right.
Agratas will serve the market.
So you'll have both doing at different probably.
See, but the Agratas is very
iron.
high-end and it's only focused on batteries.
Right.
Tata Auto Components battery packaging is only one of the capabilities they have. And Tata Auto Component, Agratas will also work together.
Do you think also that, the cost structures of both brands are quite different? There may be a challenge over there because, let's say JLR requirements are different from Tata Motors, which is maybe more mass market. How do you bridge that kind of, let's say, in the ecosystem? Or do you think you'll get a lot more scale also? And that's also one of the benefits of having, let's say, one common platform.
See, Horvus, you don't force feed anything. But you want a culture of openness. And you want a culture of innovation. You want a culture to explore possibilities. And that's what you've done. So what will happen in the Jaguar Land Rover and the Tata Motors case is that we have been able to find, both the teams have worked together to be able to find areas they can collaborate. Yes, we used a discovery platform before, but now we are creating a platform which is being created as a common platform for a particular model of JLR. Let me not get into details. And which will serve for the high-end platform for Tata Motors.
Right.
And we are able to bring the cost attitude of Tata Motors with the design sophistication of JLR, and we are able to do that, then we are in a sweet spot. Then you get the benefit accruing for both in two different ways, and the volumes go up, which justifies the investment that goes into the platform.
Right.
So it may not be individually viable for Tata Motors to make that investment, and JLR volumes may not be enough. So these are things that will happen when the two teams talk. And we are talking about not only the platforms, we are talking about the electronic architecture.
Right. That's the very expensive, and that's the next way.
Then we are talking about the software-defined vehicles. So there are many things happening, which you need certain features for Tata Motors, you need a certain features for JLR. And both the teams work on their requirements and then see what is it that we can do together. And if it works, it's great. In this case, they've been at it for last 2 years, and we have hit a sweet spot.
Looking at JLR, coming to Jaguar, you're going on a completely electric portfolio. From what I understand, maybe just 2 or 3 models right now. I mean, really the portfolio of Jaguar itself has shrunk. I mean, clearly profits are coming from the Land Rover side. Are you a little concerned, that the model range has also shrunk initially from what it is and going forward?
It's a very conscious strategy. JLR is positioned as a luxury vehicle. So we want to really make those, the original value proposition of Jaguar is that exclusivity.
Right. So it's going to be a more
special status. So Jaguars is not a volume player. Okay, now we sell with JLR, now we are about 420,000 vehicles, 420,000 vehicles. And, we have done at our peak 600,000 vehicles.
Right.
So with the new models coming in, we'll sell more. We'll definitely sell more from here. But this is not a mass brand. This is a luxury brand.
Right.
So it's a very conscious call. The positioning is very conscious, and you will see the car. When the new Jaguar car comes, you will see it. Very different.
The industry, I want to talk on the supply chain, raw material, especially for EV. We're still very, very dependent on China. I mean, when do you think we'll become more self-reliant? Also, you put a lot of bet on semiconductors, fab units here. So I just want to get your vision on, let's say, really controlling or taking control of the supply chain, which is very, very critical, especially in the EV space.
See, I think, world is connected. You can't say that I'm going to decouple. And when we are making investments in batteries, when we are making electronics, it is not to say that we are trying to create an ecosystem where we will do everything for ourselves. That is not the point. Each one of them presents an opportunity in the global supply chain. What is required in the global supply chain, whether it is auto sector or any other sector, is redundancy. And we'll need more players. So we see an opportunity for us in electronics. We are playing the entire value chain of electronics. We are in manufacturing, we are in packaging, we are in assembly and test, we are in fab, we'll be in design. So we're playing the entire value chain. And we have gone ahead and created a strategy to develop batteries. Yes, we are producing lithium-ion and NMC, but we are setting up an R&D center. We are working with startups, we are working with academia. So tomorrow we may produce sodium, we may produce solid state, we may produce aluminum. We don't know where the technology will go.
Right.
But it is a commitment you make. So whether we will be dependent on one nation, other nations, I mean, this supply chain is evolving. So we will have to keep moving to strengthen the resiliency of the supply chain.
In your estimate, how long do you think, to be honest, put it very plainly, take for us to be self-reliant?
Never ask you mean who? You mean India?
India.
I mean, see, at the end of the day, it all depends on geopolitics. But there are enough material outside China also.
Right.
So you can procure from outside China also. And at the end of the day, everything comes down to whether you own, whether you procure,
Refine.
What is the cost. So there are different scenarios that will play out.
But the technology, to be at the cutting edge of technology, especially in this space. I mean, India, honestly, is still quite far behind.
We will get
How long do you think it will take to
I
get?
don't want to put a timeline, but we're getting there. Every single investment that we make gets us closer.
So we are catching up.
And we'll catch up.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, I want to talk on
But you should never assume that any country is going to be completely self-sufficient and in 100% in everything.
Right. No, we are
You will always work with different sources, but you need to create enough redundancy so that the resiliency is not impacted.
Your view on hybrids, and clearly because the sense one gets is you're still ICE and EV, and of course CNG, but hybrids is something you'll have not really looked at.
See, if you see ICE as the starting point, electric vehicle is the destination. That has been globally accepted, and that's how globally every country has pushed electric vehicles and given incentives to move people, because that's going to solve the number one enemy, as you rightly said. In between, there are a variety of transitions. So to my mind, the important point is to not focus on the destination. And when we have to go there, and already, we started only 4 years ago.
Right.
And we were from 1%, less than 1%. Today, we are 15%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am pretty confident that we will, I think the government is expecting 30% 2030. We'll hit that way ahead.
You think we will be 30%
much before 2030.
EV penetration?
EV penetration in Tata Motors.
In Tata Motors.
I can't tell for the industry. I hope the industry does.
Right.
I want everybody to shoot for that milestone because it's required.
Yeah.
In India, definitely it's required. And I hope that all OEMs commit to that timeline.
Talking on the ICE side, I just want to press you on this. Sense one gets is you all accelerated in EV, but to be honest, on engines, let's say, bit of challenges there, especially your dependency on Fiat for the diesel. Clearly, that's limited certain options, what you can do with the Harrier. There's been no petrol over there. One feels that there could have been so much more synergy on the ICE side between JLR and Tata Motors, but I think that boat has now sailed. Do you feel maybe on the ICE side, you all had a little bit of, I would say, a bit of a weakness?
We have not done badly in the ICE engines at all.
Fair enough, but I just want to press you on
Can we do more? Yes, we can do more. Should we be investing more? Market will determine.
So you are still open to investing more in ICE?
You see, our goal is to push the adoption to electric vehicles.
Right.
More and more. But that does not mean we will not invest in ICE engines. So we will have to give the customers the choices. We need to produce the best cars. We need to invest. We need to come out with the right price points. We need to give great charging infrastructure, and which we are continuing to expand. So we have to do all of this. We have taken the lead, and we are going to see this through.
Aspirations to be number 2 in the market, is that something you would like? I mean, is that a internally stated goal?
See, I don't think whether you are number 2, number 1, number 3, these things matter.
I'm sure they do at some point.
Well, these are bragging rights.
Right.
But what is more important is, how do you continue to come up with products that excite the customer? See, for me, the priorities are very simple. We need to launch more products, and every product must have the features which are top of the line, and products have to have that coolness
Right.
for different customer segments, and our service has to go up. Our sales and service experience has to be top notch.
That is one challenge right now, I think.
The reliability of the cars
Right.
has to continue to see. We have, in all dimensions, we have gone better and better by.
But do you think of the software? Yeah,
It's a journey, and we will have best software platform.
right.
We are working on that.
But do you think right now, to be honest, there are a lot of glitches. There are, you must have, is it software issue is still a little bit of a pain point right now before we get to STVs, because too many softwares talking to each other has caused a problem for a lot of...
See, these things will get fixed. See, the one good thing about software is
you can fix it
you
easily.
can fix it if you design it correctly.
Correct.
Once you designed it correctly, then you can fix it.
Future-proofed it.
Yeah. But if you have not designed it correctly, then you've got to go to the drawing board.
Right. So this is one area that you think...
We'll continue to evolve. And we want to have we have the capability.
Right.
We just need to drive the aspiration.
Right.
At the end of the day, you've got to set the bar high.
Right.
If you set the bar high, it happens.
Right.
If you don't set the bar high, then chalta attitude will come.
Now that era is over. No more looking for, partners for capital, for technology. If you have the capital, you can do it on your own. I just want to understand, is that part of the journey sort of something which Tata Motors has also evolved?
From our point of view, we'll always be open for collaboration. What form of collaboration, we'll have to see. If there is a platform that we need and somebody else can give us, and we can launch the products faster, we should be taking those platforms. We shouldn't be pig-headed and then saying, I'm going to build my own.
Right.
So the buy versus build, or partner versus build, is always a time to market issue.
Right.
And the fitness of the issue, whether what you get is really what you need.
Right.
It gives you what you need. So those kind of discussions will always happen. It is not only with the company that you mentioned. These things have happened with many players.
Right.
Many people who have met me, and I have met many people. These dialogues keep going.
Right.
Always. It will continue to happen.
Are you worried about the flattening of demand?
These things will happen, boss. It's a cycle.
Right. It's a cycle. Right.
Blip will happen. One quarter then festive season will come, it will pick up. Then another quarter somebody will say, I've heard these stories all the time.
Right.
And these things happen.
Mr. Chandrasekharan, you're a marathon man. We know, I think with that mindset, it's all about the long term. It's all about, having a secure future. Thanks so much for talking to us. A real pleasure. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.